agents who have never been a TV anchor. They're evaluating talent, saying who's good and who's not. It's almost like NFL scouts and analysts and stuff.
Hey, you hit it right on the head because I was listening to how you said it, and I was thinking about like the Anthony Richardson kid now, like how everybody's evaluating him, and I'll never speak ill on anyone when it comes to football. I just talk footballs and facts and stuff. It's been difficult, to see how they're like everybody's projecting them based on potential to go possibly the first pick. So you see these guys, and it be guys that's never played football, never played a position of quarterback, and never done those things. And I haven't watched enough film to even be to make a good judgment on anyone. But at the same time, sometimes numbers don't lie, but it can work both ways because hey, Dan Marino also threw doggone like 50, 60 interceptions in college and still went first round. So it's a lot of things that can happen. Maybe his potential and his talent is second to none. So maybe those guys are right.
Do you think like that battle of potential versus the resume that you've already put together, like do you think that just depends on do you think anyone wins out? Like would you pick the potential over like the stats and the resume from college, or would you go the other way, if that makes
I
sense?
think it all is subjective and it's based on the organization, it's based on the person, it's based on the right time. Because to me, if you look at all the quarterbacks coming out of this draft now, I would probably go with, I don't know, I love this kid, Stetson Bennett. He's been tried by everyone. Everyone has said they've benched him. They've put JT Daniels and all these other quarterbacks in front of him. These guys have all transferred out. He's stayed there as a walk-on, everything, and he just comes out on top every single time. You wonder why, but if you just put on the game tape and you put on the film and you watch him on the sidelines, you're like, oh, this is why. This is why this kid is doing this at the University of Georgia. Yes, he has a lot of talent around him, but at the same time, those other guys couldn't do it with the talent that they had around him, and he was able to do it. So that kid is someone, he's something special. He's someone that I think, people are looking at and saying, okay, he's the resume guy. He's not the potential guy.
It's crazy that you brought up Stetson Bennett because that was always kind of how I felt. I'm like, this guy has fought through so much adversity, like throughout his playing career. All these big time guys, they're starting over him, then they're going away, then he's in, then he's out. He brings back those national titles, all this stuff. I'm like, what more? Like, does it really matter that his hands are too small or that he doesn't have a crazy 40 time? And again, Jacory, like I've never played football. I was a college hockey player, but I'm just thinking in my head, like that resume is, I think there are certain things on that resume that you can't teach.
Yes, it is certain things that you can't teach, and it gets to a point where the resume outweighs that potential factor, because he's proven way more um, than what he should. He deserves all of the first round stuff. Any acknowledgement of him being great, he deserves that. So I think resume outweighs potential when it comes to him. But it's certain guys, I guess like Anthony Richardson, his resume may not speak for itself, but then his potential, he's, running the fastest, jumping the highest, throwing the furthest, throwing the hardest. Um, he's doing those type of things to where it makes you think, like, dang, am I good a good enough coach that I can bring the best out of him? So it's like, okay, I believe in myself that I could turn this kid into a superstar. So that's something you can also look at. I feel like coaches draft potential when they believe in themselves. And sometimes they may be overly cocky, overly confident, but I feel like they draft potential when you believe in yourself as a coach because you believe that you can get the potential out of this kid. I feel like you draft resume when not necessarily you don't believe in yourself, but you don't want to have to put in the work to get this. You don't have to put in the work to get this kid ready. Not saying it's a bad thing. Like you draft a CJ Stroud, a Bryce Young, their resume speaks for itself. So you don't have to do too much teaching. You just teach your offense and let them go to work. Whereas Anthony Richardson, now you believe in yourself as a quarterback coach that I can get this kid ready day one to be our starter. So I think that's where the potential and resume thing goes into. If you believe you're a great coach, you can draft. You could take the risk and draft potential.